Well, good day, everyone. Today, we're going to be talking about your HACCP binder and your SOPs. First off, my name is Barbara Colbert. I'm your Quality Assurance Manager. I have Patricia Sartini, who's our trainer on today. And we're going to start with our first table talk on the HACCP binder, which includes your SOPs. Okay? You have 21 SOPs, which stands for Standard Operating Procedures in your HACCP binder. Okay? You can also find this binder in your manager's office. Okay, so when you're not sure of anything or sure of something, or as your cooking processes, holding processes, cooling down processes, you can come to your HACCP binder and find that information. Okay. What's the meaning of a HACCP program and why is it needed? Okay. First off, the U.S. Department. I'm going to read off my sheet. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, which is USDA, has issued guidance for implementing hazard analysis critical control points. They have implemented the HACCP programs into schools that are participating in the National School Lunch Programs. Now, the food safety programs have to be based on HACCP. And HACCP has 7 principles that you would need to know in order to keep your food safe and your customers safe. Let's talk about some of those 7 principles. The first one is determine the food safety hazards and identify preventive measures to control the hazard. Okay? So you have to know beforehand what could possibly go wrong with that food product and where it could go wrong. Okay? So analyze that, make sure you got everything in place and know what to do after that. Okay? So you want to be able to identify the critical control point. That's number 2. Okay? Establish critical limits. Okay? Make sure that you're cooking your food to where it needs to be cooked. If it's 165, it's 165. If it's keeping it cold at 41 and below, make sure it's there. Okay? That's establishing your critical limits. Establish critical control points. This is where you're going to be monitoring and recording your temperatures, making sure everything is working. Okay? Some examples is going to be like your temperature logs. Okay? Every day, anytime that you're preparing food, cooling food, holding food, make sure that you have a temperature log, a HACCP log. Okay, that's going to be very important. So if something was to happen in your kitchen dealing with our food process and how we cook it, how we hold it, and someone comes in and asks for it, you want to make sure that these logs are filled out daily, correctly, and filed. Okay. It has to go that way, and it has to be every day. Okay? It's going to be very important. Establish corrective actions. Anytime that you have to redo something, recook something, you want to make sure that you know the steps to take in order to get that food back up to the proper temperature. Okay? And it doesn't only deal with food. It can be your equipment, your holding equipment. Okay? Your dish machine. We had that happen where it's not working properly. So corrective actions. What are some steps that you're going to take in order to make sure that those things are taken care of in order to keep our food safe and our customers safe? Okay? Establish procedures for ensuring the HACCP plan is working. Do it work. That's why we always say, follow your recipes, right? If you follow your recipes all the way to the end, the way they're outlined, the way the dietitians have implemented them in the recipe, things that they implement in the recipe, make sure that we're following them correctly. So therefore, if something goes wrong, you can reach out to that dietitian, you can reach out to the quality assurance, you can reach out to the trainer, and we'll be able to come out and work with you on identifying where the issue is. Okay, and then that way we know if what's working and what's not working, so we can reestablish the proper way of getting that product to work correctly. Okay, so that we're able to serve safe food. And then establish record-keeping procedures. And we talked a little bit about that, but record-keeping procedures is very, very important. You have a food illness outbreak. Someone claimed they got sick from the food. We're able to show our records. You want to make sure these are filed in your HACCP folders in your file cabinet, okay, in an orderly manner, because you want to be able to get to them quickly, be able to identify that you have taken the proper actions to keep that food safe from the time you received it, cooked it, held it, served it, and cooled it down. Okay, that's if you're cooling it down. Uh, but make sure this is done correctly. This is very, very important. Okay. Um, Now, just remember, I said again, there's 21 standing operating procedures in here. Make sure you go through them all. We're doing the table talk for you on this, but make sure you find the time to go through this because it's very important. Find it in your manager's office, okay? So another thing in your HACCP books, just wanted to make sure, let's review some of the content. This HACCP book has a lot of stuff in it, a lot of good information, okay? So it talks about your HACCP process, your food service staff, your personal hygiene, hand washing, receiving your deliveries, how to keep it safe, date marking your food, okay? Using calibrated thermometers, it talks about that. Tasting your food, that's a 2-spoon method, how to do that correctly, and safely. Hot and colding items, how to take your temperatures, how to hold them, what temperature to hold them at, how to serve your food, okay? How to store your food, how to keep it safe from chemicals, things like that. Transporting your food is in here. We do transport food, so make sure you read over that. So just in case you ever have to transport food, you know what to do, right? And how to keep that food safe. Cleaning and disinfecting body fluids. That can happen at any time. You want to know how to do that, okay? You're going to find that on page 74. All right. Food donation and shared tables. Serving food to students with allergies. That's important, okay? You need to know about that. HACCP, SOP. Go and read it, okay? Non-congregated feeding with drive-up service. We had that with COVID, right? But you still need to know about that. You never know what happened next, all right? So 21 SOPs, great information in your HACCP book. Find it in your manager's office. Please go read it, okay? This is going to keep you safe. Keep your customers safe, and that's what we're all about. Now, there's 3 harmful hazards that you should know about and be aware of. One is going to be your biological hazard, another is going to be your chemical hazard, and another one is going to be your physical hazards, okay? These are things you want to avoid. So your biological hazard is going to be your harmful microorganisms such as germs, viruses, molds, fungi, and parasites, okay? And then you're going to have your chemical hazards. These are things like your pesticides, industrial compounds like bleach, or any chemical that's in your organization around food, okay? So you want to stay away from those and make sure they don't encounter with our food. And another one's going to be your physical hazard. These are things that you can feel, touch, like your bobby pins in your hair, fingernails, dirt, glass. Other physical hazards can be natural physical hazards like bones in your food, okay? You do not want these things coming into contact with your food, okay? They can actually cause harm to the human as well. If we bite down on something, we can break a tooth, we can cause bleeding, and we don't want that, right? So these are the 3 hazards that you really want to be aware of and stay away from and keep it out of our foods, okay? Biological, chemical, and your physical hazards, all right? So let's test your knowledge, okay? This is going to be true or false, or it may have some answers that are not true or false, but I'll give you time to answer those, okay? So the HACCP binder is a tool to guide us on principles of keeping food and people safe. What do you think, true or false? It's true. I hope you chose true. Knowing HACCP brings knowledge on how to keep food and people safe. When food is safe, people are safe, okay? So that answer is true. Next question. The HACCP binder brings awareness to monitoring employees in one area only throughout your kitchen. Is that true or false? I hope you chose false. Okay? All areas of your kitchen can cause problems, so you need to be monitoring the whole kitchen, right? And know how to fix and correct things. So that answer should be false. Here is one. A hazard analyst identifies physical, chemicals, and what other hazard? I hope you know it's biological hazard. Okay? Now, biological hazard are things like bacteria, fungi, parasites, and toxins. Okay? These can all threaten the human health. Okay? This is the reason why you need to know about HACCP, the critical control points, your SOPs, right? So, the hazard analyst identifies physical, chemical, and biological hazards. Number 4, we have how many SOPs are there in the HACCP binder? I think I said that probably 2 or 3 times. If you said 21, that's correct. We have 21 SOPs in our HACCP binder. Make sure you go over and read those 21 SOPs to become familiar with it in order to keep your food safe. Okay? All right, here's another question. A kitchen without a training or a HACCP binder to help guide them has no assurance of food safety. Would you say that's true or false? I hope you chose true. Okay? Now, the reason why you need to know that is because if you don't have a HACCP plan in place, or you don't understand SOPs or safety of food, or even had any training on safety of food, how would you know that you're serving a safe product to your customers? So training is going to be key, okay? Because that enhances your knowledge, okay? It enhances compliance. You'll know what to do, okay? And how to enforce that into your food service program, okay? It enhances engagement because people want to know. Inquiry minds want to know, okay? It improves job performances, okay? Because when people know things, they don't mind helping other people, okay? Stay safe in the kitchen. It makes them feel better that they are able to help someone else. Now, you may wonder, where can I find this book you call HACCP or my SOPs? You're going to find this in your manager's office. And any time that you want to read up on a SOP, which stands for Standard Operating Procedures, or just want to know about food safety, okay, which you should know, go to your manager's office. Ask, hey, let me check out the SOP book, okay? But that's where you're going to find it, in your manager's office on one of her shelves, okay? Let's serve food safe.